Day 18 of the singing challenge. Thank you for being here. Today I'd like to talk to you about the most important thing for me in singing, in my life, and in my training. And it is also the foundation of my teaching. So here it is. It is presence. So presence, you've probably heard of presence if you've talked about speaking on stage or performing on stage, being in public. It is where we are in a state of awareness, aware of everything. We are fully present would be a better way to say it, because sometimes we can be present but just half, 50%, right? But to be fully present, now that's something else. That means that there's no room for the mind chatter. That's where the magic happens. You're completely focused on the moment, on all the sensations, okay? And that's how you know that you are present, is when you're feeling the sensations. It could be a smell, a sound, bodily sensations, doesn't matter. If you are focused on that just for a second, that means you're present. So being present is not really all that hard. It's not all that it's not all that difficult, as you might think. Shut off my thoughts, I have to work so hard. No, as soon as you bring your focus on anything, whoop, this shuts off and you are present fully, even for just a second, and is actually called a meditative state. Meditation, by definition, is focusing on one thing. So you see, it's not that hard. So if you just listen for a second, oh, you were present. Yeah, you were. And if you stay with it, then that will grow. Because what you focus on grows, expands. So if you focus on the sounds, they suddenly become your whole world. You're like submerged in a world of sounds. But the exercise I want to bring to the table today is my number one exercise to bring presence and to check if I'm present. It is the tingles. Super easy. Can you feel some tingles in your hands? That's pretty easy because the hands are pretty active. So it's like the cells are in constant activation mode. They're vibrating. And that's what we can feel right now. It feels like that's what we can feel. They're vibrating. Another part of the body that's always vibrating, it's the lips. They are pretty activated, I would say. So just take a moment to feel that tingle. Oh, and the tongue. And that's where I like to bring my focus right before I go on stage. My hands, because I always want to have graceful hands. Make sure they're not like in a weird kind of stressed out position, because I notice there's a lot of tension in my hands if I'm not present. Because when we're not present, we're somewhere else. We're thinking of something that doesn't pertain to this moment, which is either a worry or an anticipation, a doubt, a regret, or something that's not necessarily not necessary. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. That's not necessary for right now, because what's necessary for now is the moment and to be fully present. So the exercise for you today is to, while you read your book, watch TV, while you do anything that's usually brings you in a state of zombiness, and you don't want to be in that state. You don't want to be fully sucked into that TV, right? Or maybe you're just watching the computer or whatever. But just to keep an awareness on the tingles will keep you in a conscious state. And as we know, a conscious state, as opposed to an unconscious state, is where you reinvent yourself. It's where everything becomes possible, and where everything you've ever learned becomes available. Okay? It's pretty magical. As opposed to an unconscious state where we just replay the same things over and over again. Routine habits, we're just not reactive, we're just replaying stuff. Okay, it's a big video today. Let's cut this short. When you're watching TV or reading your book, bring the tingles. Or it doesn't matter, maybe you're listening to someone and you find you're going into your head or you're being sucked in or whatever. Bring those tingles in your lips, in your hands, and you can bring them anywhere. I like to bring them where there's places of tension. It just kind of releases it, right? Because it's vibration. Vibration is healing. And then when you sing your song, try to keep the tingles the whole time. That would mean that you're fully present. And that would mean that your audience is getting the best performance out of you possible. And that will be a memorable event for them. So my song for you today is